The toughest ticket in town as the Redskins and the Giants meet for the second time this year. Just 2 weeks ago, they played in Washington. We're live at Giant Stadium. This is Stan Humphries starting his 4th game for the Redskins. And John Madden, what the Redskins and he want to avoid are turnovers.
You know, you look at the thing, the Giants have beaten the Redskins the last 5 games, and in every one of those games, the Redskins have never had the advantage in turnovers. So the Redskins come in and they say, hey, we can't turn the ball over. But by the same token, I think Stan Humphries has to get the ball to his 3 wide receivers, the posse today.
And if you're a Giant fan, you wonder if he could make it this week. Phil Simms sandwiched last week against the Cardinals. And if you saw this hit, you'd wonder if he'd ever walk again. But he practiced all week long, and earlier in warm-ups, Johnny looked okay.
Well, Bill Parcells and Phil Simms has been saying all week that he is perfect. The interesting thing, I don't know if Parcells believes that he's going to be there the whole game because he activated Matt Cavanaugh today as a 3rd quarterback.
Stadium in East Rutherford, and part of the story, other than this magnificent match between these two, this is in the blimp hovering overhead, the SeaWorld blimp. That, as you can see, is the radar picture of the surrounding weather. Down at the bottom of the V is where Giant Stadium is located. It rained a little bit earlier. It's very windy. Temperature 57 degrees, 30-mile-an-hour winds. The ball just blew off the tee. And so Chip Lohmiller will go back and put it back down. Back deep for the Giants, Meggett and Dave Duerson. Duerson is 26. Meggett is 30.
Dave Duerson's on the side away from where the ball is going to be kicked. The ball again blowing off the tee, that time almost 10 yards. After that happens twice, you have to get a holder in there.
And Joe Howard comes in to perform that job.
See Phil Simms there, he was pointing up to the flags. The toughest thing for a quarterback, the toughest weather you can play in is wind.
They all dread it so much. It is going to be Meggett at the goal line. And out of the pack and up to about the 23-yard line where the Giants will take over. Martin Mayhew was the first to hit him. Phil Simms will start at quarterback. Up front for the Giants, Moore, Roberts, Oates, Cratch, Doug Riesenberg, and Mark Bavaro is the tight end. Otis Anderson and Maurice Carthon in the backfield with Ingram and Baker wide. Split wide to the left, Mark Ingram. Out there with him, Darrell Green. They open with 2 tight ends. Actually 3. This is Anderson, right side. Right now, as we just get underway, let's take you back to Greg Gumbel in our studio in New York.
Pat, at Texas Stadium, just 44 seconds left on the clock. Randall Cunningham into the corner. Calvin Williams leaps for the reception, and the point after puts the Eagles on top of Dallas 21-20, under a minute to play at Texas Stadium. Pat?
We're just underway here. No score. Giants have the ball, 2nd and 4 at the 30. Ingram and Baker both wide left. That's Anderson. A collision in the backfield. Perhaps he got 2 yards. Darrell Grant tripped him up. Those of you who just joined us and watched the Packers beat Minnesota, welcome to Giant Stadium. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. We are just underway. This is the first offensive series of the game. 3rd and 1. Giants have the ball at their own 32. Roscoe in motion. Anderson takes the handoff, and he won't get the first down. Wilbur Marshall for a loss of 1.
I'll tell you, you talk about a rivalry. When the Redskins and the Giants get together, this is it. And when you see a short yardage play, it all comes out. Did you see Wilbur Marshall? He was one fired-up linebacker.
Bill Parcells says this is the best that the NFL has to offer.
And I agree. And it shouldn't be 2 times in 3 weeks either.
Walter Stanley back deep. Line drive kick by Landeta, handled by Stanley. Stanley's got to beat Landeta. Landeta slowed him up just enough. Knocked out of bounds finally by Perry Williams. Stan Humphries in his 4th start, as we said, for the Redskins. Learning every week. Up in front of him, Lachey, Grimm, Bostic, McKenzie, Simmons, Don Warren, the tight end. Biner's the runner. Monk, Sanders, and Clark. But that's not the way they open. They open with 2 tight ends and 2 backs. Monk now moves to the right. Humphries going to work. Biner to about the 34. Stopped by Diassi. 5-yard pickup. Here's the Giant defense. Dorsey, Howard, and Washington, the 3 up front, although they might use 4 later. Cooks, Diassi, Pepper Johnson, and Lawrence Taylor, the linebackers. Collins and Walls, cornerbacks. Guyton and Jackson, the safety. 2nd and 5 from the 34. Hand off to Biner. Nothing. Johnny Cooks for no gain. Stops Biner.
Hey, the reason that they were so happy out there, Pat, is that they've had trouble with the outside plays lately. Johnny Cooks played that one perfectly. Everyone used to run inside in the Giants. A couple weeks ago, the Redskins started bouncing it out. Last week, the Cardinals bounced it out. The Redskins tried that time, and it didn't work.
All 3 members of the posse in the game, along with Kelvin Bryant. This is Sanders on the move. Humphries. Pressure up the middle. And the ball's loose. Leonard Marshall.
Leonard Marshall came in. You talk about a fired-up guy today. Leonard Marshall came in there with a body slam. Watch this. Watch Leonard Marshall here. He is right here. Let's watch him come now. He is taking an inside rush, and you have Taylor on the outside. He gets by his man to the inside, and watch right here. He gets him here, and he's going to put him right on his back.
Oshenko, the punter, Meggett signals fair catch. Kelvin Bryant, I believe. Brian Davis knocked it backwards, leaped into the end zone, and the Redskins down it inside the 5. 39-yard punt.
I'll tell you, the intensity level, Pat, in this game is about 122 right now as we speak.
That's a heck of a play.
You know, every play has been a heck of a play. I mean, the defensive plays, the offensive plays, Leonard Marshall's pass rush, Brian Davis getting down there, not getting inside the end zone and knocking that ball out of there.
From about 5 feet in the air. Ryan Mitchell made the recovery for the Redskins. 1st and 10 Giants at the 3-yard line. Sims back to Anderson. Flag on the play. They very nearly got him for a safety. Flag on the play. No gain.
I think Tracy Rocker jumped off sides for the Redskins. So the Giants should have kept going. That's the time you get a free play. That's the time you go for the big banger.
Offside, 99 defense, still first down.
Tracy Rocker, you're right.
That's Tracy Rocker right there. You see him move? Now, once he crosses that neutral zone, then he is offside, or if he makes contact.
So it makes it 1st and 5. Baker wide left. Sims to Carthon. Near the 10. Perhaps 2 or 3. The Redskins swarm on defense.
You see that pile there? I think there's 22 guys on the field. 20 of them were in that pile. The only one that wasn't there was one defensive back from the Redskins and a quarterback from the Giants. There's that number 40 there, Alvin Walton. He's a safety, but he plays like a linebacker. They give him an inside hole responsibility on run.
2nd and 2. Anderson. First down, Giants at about the 18. Picked up 9. Stopped by Williams and Bowles.
That was a good run. But watch out how Otis Anderson gets jacked up as he gets tackled. This is what you call jacking someone up. When he goes, and his shoulder pads are like that. They're perpendicular, and they get knocked to straight. Watch Walton on the end of the play, number 40. He just makes sure he is going to get in there.
Sims back to throw it. Roll right, screen pass to Anderson, who steps out of a couple of tackles. Gets another Giants first down at the 35. Gain 15. Oates and Cratch out front with good blocks.
These fans come to play today, Pat. You know who does a good job as a right tackle? Doug Riesenberg, number 72. But Sims is going to fade a little to his right. That's Riesenberg's side. See 72 there? Doing a good job on man so that Sims can fade over to that right side.
1st and 10 Giants from the 35. 8:35 left to play in the first quarter. No score. Here's a counter play with very little success. Grant and Mann. No gain.
I'll tell you, this is football, though, isn't it, Pat? I mean, they come out of that tunnel, and the furs flying here today. I have never in this season seen hitting like we've seen in this first quarter. It's like 2 heavyweight fighters trying to knock each other out.
It's almost like the first game was down at RFK.
I think there's a certain sense of urgency, though, for the Redskins today, knowing if they don't win, they really are out of the divisional title search or hunt. Not the playoffs, but the title.
Reverse to make it. Martin Mayhew took him out of bounds. Those of you who watched the Eagles beat Dallas 21-20 in the last few seconds, as a matter of fact, welcome to Giant Stadium. No score here as yet. We're in the first quarter. 7.5 minutes left. It'll be 3rd and 4 Giants. This drive began back at about their 2-yard line. Meggett in the backfield this time. Navarro in motion. Hand off Meggett. Fumble. He got back on it. Flag on the play. Picked up 2.
The penalty is going to be against the Giants for holding. It'll be an interesting decision here for the Redskins. Do you put him back 10 yards and let him have another shot at you, or do you take 4th?
Holding, 66 offense, penalty decline, 4th down.
He'll take the 4th down situation.
You know, I think Joe Gibbs has so much respect for Phil Simms. He said if there's one thing we have to do is put pressure on Simms today, because he's the guy that has beaten us every year.
And that goes back a lot of years. Vendetta's kick is a good one. Stanley lost the ball. The Redskins got it back. I don't know how. Harry Williams made the hit. 45-yard punt, no return. The Redskins get the ball deep in their own territory. Nothing in the first quarter. 6:45 left to play.
There's a new line of cars on the block. A revolutionary way of thinking. That world-class standards should begin at home. With cars built to last, engineered to perform, designed to make you take notice. Introducing the new Ford Escort, a new line of thought, a new line of cars.
My main Yugoslavian and very sensitive Laker brother, Bloody Divac, looks a whole lot better now because he just shaved off his beard with the new Chic Slim Twin Plus with aloe.
How'd it go, Bloody?
Nema problema. Was the blade narrowing up? Nema problema.
How do you like the new aloe comfort strip?
I'm no longer irritating.
Try the new Slim Twin Plus with aloe. It reaches every place on every sensitive face.
So now American girls like my face? Problema, Bloody. Big problema.
From Chic.
CBS FM 101.1, the station you sing along to. CBS FM 101.1. Come on, you know the words. At home, at work, or in the car, sing along to New York's oldie station, CBS FM 101.1.
Watch your last punt. Here's Perry Williams. He is going to come in and make the hit. Now watch him after it gets by him right there. He strips the ball out, and number 80, Joe Howard, right there comes in and makes a recovery.
And the Redskins will have it 1st and 10 on their own 11. Straight ahead is Biner. Maybe 2. Maybe not that much.
There's a guy who's playing the run well, big number 77, Eric Dorsey. You know, they talk about a two-gap. A two-gapper has to play into the man on him, and then he's responsible for the gap on either side of him. Eric Dorsey is a perfect two-gapper.
He lost about 15 pounds, down to 280, and seems to be much quicker.
And a lot of it went to his arms.
Humphreys back to throw it. Has some time. Doesn't come close to Gary Clark.
Humphreys was saying last night that he's a heck of a lot more comfortable, especially playing the Giants, you know, 3 times in 2 weeks. Gary Clark slipped on that one. You know, we talked about how the field was dry in the pregame warm-up. Then when the teams went in before they come out for the game, the rain came. So the field got wet while the players were inside.
Right now the rain has stopped, and it looks a little bit less threatening. Kelvin Bryant in the backfield with Humphreys, and out of the backfield. To Clark. Incomplete. Gary Reasons was the closest Giant, and the defense holds.
That is the guy that they have to stop. If there's been any receiver over the years that has given the Giants a lot of trouble, it's been Gary Clark. I'll guarantee you, even though the Giants use a zone defense, when it's 3rd down, they are going to be collapsing quickly on Clark.
They don't want to give him anything deep. Moshenko left-footed to Megan. Midfield. Hard to knock down. He gets to the Redskin 40 before he's tripped up by Todd Bowles. 9-yard return. 37-yard punt. 0-0. First quarter.
Barbecue? Sure, but summer's over. Baggett? McDonald's? Hey, McRib. All right. You know, I sure could go for some, fries and a Coke with that. A McRib pack. I'll take it. Hey, let's eat. Oops, better do it now, huh? McRib. McDonald's!
Folks, chomp.
What precision-built truck is also America's most popular value? What truck offers precise fits and finishes and a wider range of electronic fuel-injected engines?
Ford trucks, the best.
Ranger, the precision-built truck that's widening the sales gap every day. The best-built, best-selling American trucks are built Ford tough.
Die Hard, America's most trusted replacement battery. Its breakthrough design gives you more power and more confidence from the start. Sears Die Hard, more power when you need it most.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's important to remember at a time like this, when it's very dark and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
Back at Giant Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden, 5:39 left. In the first quarter, no score. Jim Hanifin, former Cardinal coach, now the Redskins offensive line coach, working.
They love to do that, those line coaches. You always give them one of those pens and a little board, and they'll diagram, and most of the time, they'll diagram a running play, and that's what Jim Hanifin was doing.
Sims to work. Screen pass. Anderson is cut down by Wilbur Marshall.
Now, Wilbur Marshall is playing better now than he has since he played for the Chicago Bears. Remember 1985?
You're so right.
He was with the Bears and they went to the Super Bowl, and then he came to the Redskins and never really was the old Wilbur Marshall. But in the last 3 weeks, he is playing linebacker like the old Wilbur Marshall we all know.
He looks as if he feels a lot more comfortable. 2nd and 13.
You talk about a guy who brings an emotional load with him. That's Wilbur Marshall.
Sims back to throw it again. With time. Outside Bavaro. From behind by Monty Coleman. A fine play by number 51.
The Giants are getting pretty good protection for Phil Simms. They know that they have to give him protection. They can't let him take any hits because you don't know how many hits that ankle can take today. So as long as he can stay like that with clean feet, no hits, then he's going to get through this game.
3rd and 13. Redskins have gone to sort of a new scheme in their defensive line. When they want to put pressure on the passer, they change defensive tackles, as they have now.
They bring in Tim Johnson and Eric Williams.
Pass to Ingram, caught. Close to a first down. 14-yard pickup, that should be enough.
And that is the toughest thing a quarterback has to do. 3rd down, 3rd and long. They got their pass rushers in there. They got their nickel defenders in there. And look at him. He just takes Ingram. Ingram runs an out pattern and beats Darrell Green. Darrell Green, their best cover guy, one-on-one. Ingram beat him and got the first down.
14-yard pickup, 1st and 10 Giants at the Redskin 30. Time running out in the first quarter. 3.5 minutes. Anderson hammers for another first down inside the 20. A gain of 13. Mayhew and Green made the stop.
And you're right, Otis Anderson hammered. But watch the blocking he gets from number 72, his right tackle. See him, he takes in, he hits in the man, gets him to the outside, that knocks a hole. Bob Cratch, the left guard, boom, he had good contact. They got good movement on that side.
6 carries, 30 yards for Anderson. He remains the lone setback. And another carry. Down to about the 13. Mann made the stop after a gain of 4.
This is the kind of football that Bill Parcells enjoys. I think if he could take this, make a play passing when you have to, just to keep the drives alive, and then just boom, take your big back in there behind the big offensive line and just ram it right down the defense.
2nd and 6. Number 13, Sims rolls right to Bavaro. Out of bounds at the 3, Monty Coleman. Gain of 10.
That's the old bootleg play or waggle. I think there's a penalty on the play, though.
There is.
That I think it's against the Giants.
Illegal use of hands, base, number 65 offense. 10 yards, repeat, second down.
That's the center, Bart Oates. He must have gotten his hands up quickly.
If you look at it from here, you'll see what Sims is going to do is he's going to come out on the bootleg, and then he's going to hit Bavaro on the outside. You get the backs going to the left, and Sims coming out. Now, sometimes those centers will just get their hands up and get a face down.
Sims to Megan. Second and 16, they needed Megan. Almost to the 5. A pickup of 18. He's tripped up by Mayhew.
That was one of the things the Giants said yesterday. We want to get the ball to Megan, not just on passing down. We're going to put him in on some running downs and let him run the ball, because he is probably the best offensive player they got, or the most dangerous offensive player they got. Joe Gibbs says this guy is strong. He's really hard to knock off his feet.
He's not that big, 185 maybe, but he is strong. Anderson. Like it could have been a face mask. That's what Sims said. But no flags. 2-yard gain.
It looked like Eric Williams, number 75 for the Redskins, hit him somehow and knocked him sideways. I mean, he was going in there. O.J. Anderson was going straight into the line, and the next thing I knew, he was sideways. Watch him here. He's going in. Shoulders are up. Square is getting down. Now watch him. Doink. He just goes sideways. And it was Eric Williams.
He had him by the pads, not by the face mask. Anderson again. Man and Tim Johnson stop him at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Carl Banks, the injured Giant linebacker, out with that infected bad wrist. That's going to be, it would appear, the end of the first quarter. And that is the end of the first quarter, with the score Washington nothing, the Giants nothing.
On Wall Street, fortunes are won and lost and won again before 10:30. Amid the halls of ivy, the best ideas often come and go before 10:30. And on the back lots of Hollywood, love often blooms and fades before 10:30. Which is why Federal Express delivers before 10:30 at more places around the country than anyone else. Federal Express, absolutely, positively the best in the business.
You're the top, you're the Coliseum, you're the top, you're the Louvre Museum, you're the best in beer, that fact is clear, each drop, you're number one, second to none, you're the top.
Heineken, America's #1 imported beer. Amstel Light, America's #1 imported light beer.
You're a cut above, the taste we love, each drop, you're the best of both worlds, you're the top.
Monday. The new season's best comedy series is on Monday.
All right.
The funniest night of the week just got funnier. A special all-new Evening Shade, Monday.
Remember when Alan Shepard went to the moon, Pat, and he hit a golf ball? I think that's his divot right there. I think we just found it.
Either that or the ball just came down.
That'd be fun. That'd be something. I'd like to go up and kick a football on the moon.
3rd and goal on the 4. Ingram on the move. Sims to throw it. Sims on to Baker. Flag on the play. Penalty markers everywhere. 2 flags.
Well, that's on Brian Davis. That was stupid because Stephen Baker had already scored the touchdown. He was at the back of the end zone, and Davis hits him. That was a stupid penalty. That was one out of frustration. But Stephen Baker's going to come on a post there. Sims is looking for him all the way. He has become his favorite receiver. Look, out of frustration, Davis is beaten by Baker, and then out of frustration, he just pushes him.
34, defense, penalty decline, touchdown.
Lawrence Taylor doesn't agree necessarily with this set of circumstances.
I think he probably figures it should go on the kick.
And I think he just said it will. Gordon McCarter. There were 2 penalties, 2 flags on that play. Matt Barr for the extra point. Which is good, and it's 7-0. Just beginning quarter number 2. 7-0 Giants.
Baker right here. Here's Brian Davis. He's just going to run a post and beat him in there, and then Davis hits him again after he catches it. Watch, the motion goes away. Now he has that boom. He hits that thing. Great pass by Phil Sims getting it in there. Now the play's over. Davis hits him. So now that penalty will go on this kickoff, so the Giants will be kicking off from the 50-yard line with a holder.
Mitchell and Stanley back deep for the Redskins. I think he did this on purpose. Inside the 10. And it worked. The short kick. An 8-yard return. The Giant special teams down in good shape. Bobby Abrams down first. Stan Humphries back for the Redskins, who are still with minus yards. -1.
I'll tell you, part of that is their ability. The other part is the way this Giant defense is getting after him today.
Monk in motion on first down. Hand off to Biner. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Washington was the first Giant to hit him. Again, let's send you back to the New York studios and hear Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, for those who missed it earlier today, the Eagles beat Dallas, and here's how. Under the 1-minute mark, Randall Cunningham from 10 yards out to a leaping Calvin Williams, and the point after was the difference. The Eagles 21 and the Cowboys 20. Pat?
7-0 Giants. 14-18 left second quarter. Humphries on a reverse to Monk. Flag on the play. There is nothing doing. Taylor made a good play. Diassi made a good play. No gain.
And Mark Collins made a good play. You know, the Giants play that 2-deep zone, so the corners, you see here 25 Collins, the corners have to get up on these outside plays and help.
Lined up in the neutral zone.
You see Collins come up to the outside and make the tackle right there. The only problem with that play is the Giants lined up offsides, and the guy that did it was a nose tackle, Eric Howard. You wonder how they can do that when the ball's right there and they're lined up right in front of it. Sometimes they try and go helmet to helmet. They call it paint to paint. I think Eric Howard's paint got too close to the other guy's paint.
Makes it 2nd and 5. At the 21, Humphries to Biner. Nothing. Johnny Cooks and Leonard Marshall stack it up.
Johnny Cooks did a good job of getting penetration. You know, I think they think that they're going to work. He's going to come right out here and stop this side here. And that's the thing. Now, they think they're going to get some movement there. Johnny Cooks allows them no movement, and he is right in there on the play.
3rd and 4. Kelvin Bryant back in the backfield. Humphreys, pass complete. Should be enough for a first down. Pick up of 6. Reasons and Collins.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that the Redskins have to do today, Pat, is they have to get the ball to the posse. They have to get it to Art Monk, you know, and to Gary Clark and to Ricky Sanders. Since Humphreys has become the starter, they're not throwing as much to those guys. They've been running more and using other guys, but I think to get back to a good balance, they have to get the ball more to those guys.
That's the Redskins' first down. They're at their own 27. Fake to Biner. Here's Bunk. They try to set up the option play. Collins didn't bite. Monk is knocked out of bounds by Pepper Johnson.
Pepper Johnson is all over this field. Yeah, we talk about that. Mark Rippon was a quarterback, and he started the first 3 games, and the posse had 39 catches, and that represented 83% of the team's offense. Now, since Humphreys has been the quarterback, they've only caught 29, and the percentage has gone down over 20 points.
2nd and 5, Redskins, their own 32. To Clark. Hammered by Collins. Knocked backwards. Pickup of 5. First down, Redskins.
Mark Collins didn't play in the last game against the Redskins, was just activated last week off the IR. They lost Carl Banks and picked up Mark Collins. I'll tell you, he brought a pretty big load with him for a little corner.
Indeed, he did. Renee Thompson had been playing there.
Well, Renee Thompson has a dislocated thumb and a broken shoulder, and all he can do now is play special teams.
Fake is to Biner. The pass is intercepted by Everson Wall. Intended for Clark.
Everson Walls, just like Bill Parcells said, in the years in football, it just seems like the ball always finds him or he always finds the ball.
His 3rd this year.
Yeah, here's the interception, Pat. It looked like Everson Walls just out-hustled Gary Clark for the ball. Humphreys is trying to force it in there, but I think it became like a jump ball or a push ball, and Everson Walls just out-hustled Clark.
Sims to Megan. Maybe 2. Stopped by Mann and Manuski.
You hear the guys down there in the sideline after every play. They not only read the play and get out there and make the tackle, but then they start officiating. As you yell, face mask, he grabbed me, he's holding. Hey, it's those darn turnovers that keep coming back to haunt the Redskins.
2nd and 8. Sims is 5 out of 5. They're at the Redskin 45. Carthon hammers down to about the 33. Mayhew made the stop.
You know, if you look in the 5 games that the Giants have won, they've had +3, +1, +2, and +1. One time the turnover ratio was even. So, you know, in talking to both coaches, you know, they always have these close games. They're big division rivalries. And both coaches will say, what's the key? And they say one thing, turnovers.
Turnovers first, then we got to run the ball. And Sims, who's perfect so far, has now missed his first one. Carthon, the intended receiver.
You know, Charles Mann was right back there on Sims, and he looked like he was awfully nice to him. Everyone knows that Phil Sims has a bad ankle, and I'll tell you, Charles Mann could have taken a shot at him. Watch 71 here. He's working on the right side of the screen, and right here, he looked like he just let up there, which is really pretty gentlemanly. I mean, there aren't a lot of defensive players in the league that will hold a quarterback up.
You wouldn't call many of them gentlemanly, I don't think. Ingram goes in motion, sends back to throw it again. Redskin tried to blitz. Interference flag is down. Pass was caught by Manuel anyway. 17-yard pickup.
Lionel Manuel doesn't play much anymore, doesn't start much anymore, but the one thing he can do is what he just did there, is run an in pattern.
Holding. Defense. Penalty decline. First down.
And here's what an in pattern is. Lionel Manuel is up on top. You run up the field, then you run in. Now, as you run in, you see he's being held there. You don't gain ground up the field. You come a little back to the quarterback.
1st and 10 at the 16. Sims rolls, gets Bavaro, and he'll score.
Bootleg again, backs go to the left, Sims comes out to the right, Bavaro fakes like he's making a block, then just works out into the flat and into the end zone. That's the second time they ran that play. They ran it in the first quarter going the other way.
Andre Collins saw he had made a mistake and turned around to chase Bavaro, but it was too late then. 9:12 left to play in the first half. And the Giants up 14-0. At Summerall John Madden at Giant Stadium, where the Giants have just taken a 14-0 lead with 9:12 left to play in the first half.
You want to see what a play fake does or a bootleg? Watch, he starts in here. Now watch, both these safeties here, they come up so fast they fall down. Watch it, boom, they come up, they fall down there. And then Bavaro gets outside Andre Collins, who also took the bite.
Kickoff. Stanley at the 7. Still about the 26, stopped by Dewerson. A 19-yard return by Stanley. 14-0, the Giants lead. 14-0, the Giants over the Redskins, and again, before that touchdown, the interception by Walls set up the whole thing. 1st and 10 for the Redskins at their own 26. That's Riggs who dropped the ball and now jumps on it. 2 weeks ago at RFK Stadium, Stephen Baker had an 80-yard touchdown reception. He scored the first Giants touchdown today. Mark Bavaro set up one with a 61-yard reception, and he just scored the second touchdown. Maurice Carthon had the other long play. 2nd and 14. Humphreys back to throw it. Rushed by Taylor. Screen pass intended for Riggs, too high.
Here's a guy that everyone has to worry about, is Lawrence Taylor. They're always going to have a blocker on him, maybe two. That time Lachey pushed him into the tackle, and then he just ran right over Russ Grimm. Lachey was going to pass him off. It looked like Grimm, who was the guard, didn't know it, and it being passed off, Lawrence Taylor just ran right over Russ Grimm.
3rd and 14. Coming after Humphreys, they got him. Greg Jackson from the outside.
That's where they get you. You worry so much about Marshall, you worry so much about Taylor, then Jackson comes in motion. He's on the same side. Marshall on the outside, Taylor going to the inside, and then Jackson coming around both of them, free for the sack. This guy has become a big part of this Giant defense in the last month.
He had 2 interceptions against the Redskins the first time. Moshenko's kick to Meggett. Sails to the 44. Meggett hit at midfield. 44-yard punt, 6-yard return. Govea made the stop. 14-0. The Giants lead the Redskins. SeaWorld, 194 feet long, 2/3 the length of a football field. And from inside, just afloat in the woods or over Giant Stadium. At midfield, the Giants will take over. Hi, guys. They have 141 total yards. The Redskins have 3. Sims to Meggett.
You know, Joe Gibbs was saying last night that where Meggett's from is Towson State, and Towson is real close to the Redskins. And Bobby Beathard, who is the general manager of the Redskins, his son went to Towson. And Joe Gibbs said, we got every player from Towson. I mean, every guy, the backup guy, the water boy, the corner, the extra center. He said, and the only guy we didn't get is Dave Meggett, who's one of the best players in the league.
2nd and 7, Sims to throw. To Baker. Mayhew on the coverage.
This Stephen Baker has really gotten confidence. He has become a legitimate NFL receiver. I mean, he's a guy who is a real threat now. People start worrying about him. I mean, he has that speed, but he's so little. Look, he's only 5'8". He was saying he went to a department store, and they said, Stephen Baker, where have I heard that name? He goes to pay the check, and he said, I play for the Giants. And they go, oh, no, you don't. You're too little. You don't play pro football.
Can't be. 1st and 10, however. Redskin 32. This is Anderson to the 30. Picked up 2, stopped by Minuski.
But you know, when you're that big and you walk around, look at him, number 85 there, and you say that you're an NFL player, and he has that young look too, you know, and he got that little bounce in his eye and smile, and those arms aren't very big. Look, he got those little old skinny arms and stuff. You know, he doesn't have much down below the waist, and you know, and you walk around and you say, for the NFL, he has to take his NFL player's card to prove that he's a player.
Here's Sims. Marshall on a blitz. Almost got there, as did Govea. Pass intended for Bavaro. Sailed over his head.
That is the first time that Phil Sims has gone down in this game, Pat. I think the offensive line has really done a good job. This time the Redskins come with a blitz. Wilbur Marshall is the guy who finally takes him down, and that's the first time today that Phil Sims has hit the turf.
Phil is 9 of 11. 2 touchdowns. Jeff Hostetler, who bailed the Giants out last week against the Cardinals in the last play of the game. With the help of a kick, a 40-yard field goal by Barr. Out of the spread is Sims. That's to Lionel Manuel again.
And that's the second time in a row Phil Sims has gone down. That time it was man. But here's the catch. You'll see out here. The guy's working. Boom. He got hit right there. The defender fell down. So Lionel Manuel was able to get that one. But every time Lionel Manuel runs an in pattern, watch 71 man working from the right side there. Boom. He really puts a hit on Phil Sims. He was working that time against Eric Moore. That's the weakness in the Giants' offensive line, is their left tackle right now.
Handoff is to Carthon. To about the 13, and a flag comes flying, and Marshall made the stop. 3-yard pickup.
Did you see Bill Parcells run off the field last week, Pat? I was watching some highlights, and I saw a blur going across my screen.
66 offense. 10 yards, repeat first down.
We thought he pulled a hamstring.
Well, he did. He pulled a quad, he said, in the front. The hamstrings in the back, the quads in the front. That's William Roberts there. He's the left guard, number 66. That looked like a pretty good block to me. I'll tell you, I would take that because he's playing against big Darrell Grant there. Roberts against Grant in the pit. I thought that looked pretty good.
They're back at the 28-yard line. Sims to throw again. The rollout again. He just has to throw it away this time, intended, or in the direction of Meggett at least. Navarro also out there.
Charles Mann is there arguing that there was no one for him to throw it to and that he threw it away to avoid a sack. They're lining Charles Mann up all over today. He's their best pass rusher, and normally he lines up on the left side. We saw 2 plays ago where he lined up over Eric Moore on the right side.
5:02 left. That's Richie Pettibone. Coaches the Redskin defense second. And about 20, maybe a little bit more.
This is the area where Richie Pettibone usually blitzes too. In this situation, you're down 14-0. You got to go after him now. You just can't let him sit back there. You let Phil Simms sit back there, he is going to tear you apart.
As Joe Gibbs said, if somebody gets open, he's not going to miss him.
It seems like he always has his biggest games against the Redskins. I think that probably of all the teams in the NFL, the Redskins have more respect for Phil Simms than any other team.
That's what they always tell us and talk about.
Of course, I've always had a lot of respect for Phil Simms. I think that he's kind of underrated. When you talk about the great quarterbacks, his name never seems to get mentioned, but when you think that he's been playing 12 years in this league and he's won a Super Bowl and the things that he's done, you got to put Phil Simms in there as one of the great quarterbacks in the league.
Second down at the 28 with 5 minutes 2 seconds left. That was a giant timeout, by the way. So they'll have 2 left.
We are adjusting to the 26-yard line, which is the correct spot after the penalty enforcement. Second down.
Yeah, what happened is they called a 10-yard penalty, then they moved the ball back 12 yards. So then when you take 10 and then 12, then you got to add 2 to the third power.
Now they just took off 2. Here's Simms. Back into the middle of the screen pass intended for Anderson. Kurt Govea and Eric Williams were not fooled.
That's one of those things that can be embarrassing for a quarterback is to have a big old defensive lineman get an interception. Big old Eric Williams was just wallowing around in there in the mud somewhere on the carpet, and lo and behold, they darn near threw the ball to him.
Bill Belichick, who runs the Giant defensive operation. 3rd and 20. They're at the 26.
This is where they try to go to Meggett on a scat.
He's out of the backfield. And Simms is going to find him. And Meggett fights his way inside the 10. There's a flag on the play. Simms might have been over the line of scrimmage.
I think Simms was over the line of scrimmage. He looked like he started to run, and remember, he had a bad ankle. Then he said, I better find Simms. And
the pass was thrown from beyond the line of scrimmage. The penalty is 5 yards from the spot of the pass, plus loss of down.
Of course, if it's behind the line of scrimmage, then it's good. Must have been over the line of scrimmage. Watch, here's the line of scrimmage right here, which would be about the 27. Now, right there, he's okay, he's okay, he's okay, he's okay, he's okay. Now he's over, because there's the line of scrimmage. He went over, but look what he saw out there. He saw Meggett. He wasn't far over, though. I mean, it looked like he was farther than that, but it was only a yard.
Matt Barr with Hostetler holding from 48 yards. Taylor in motion. Hostetler going for Lawrence. Incomplete.
That's the one they set up. They call it Ninja. That's the old Ninja. Taylor is the wing. He is the left wing. They put him in motion. Watch him. Here's Taylor right there. He starts in motion. It's going to be like a field goal. Then he runs. He just runs and up. And they fake the field goal.
Al Boyd Mays back there with him.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin, your bag.
But sometimes he has to show off a few moves of his own. The kind of moves that made him a first-string halfback. Sam Singletary shares a feeling with everyone at Delta. He loves what he's doing, and it shows.
We love to fly,
Piece of cake.
and it shows. Getting to know you.
Geostorm. Great way to get away. 16 valves. Hello, road. The turns. The hills. This is it.
Get to know Geostorm and Tame Wild Road.
Now this could be contagious.
Catch one now at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
Can Murphy work off stress with a guru?
He's all peace and love, and then one day the police find his mother in a hefty bag in the freezer.
She's Emmy-winning Murphy Brown. Monday. Treat yourself to Halloween magic with the blockbuster comedy
Beetlejuice.
Barbara and Adam have joined the dearly departed.
We're dead.
And the only one who can help them is a ghoul with ghostly manners.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
Batman's Michael Keaton, Alec Baldwin, and Gina Davis take a hilarious romp through the spirit world.
Learn to throw your voice, fool your friends, fun and party.
Beetlejuice, Tuesday.
It's showtime.
Let's watch that fake again. Here's Lawrence Taylor. Boom, he's going to go in motion. Doesn't fake Mays there. Then you just take Hostetler here. He comes up. He gets hit just as he throws it. It was really a pretty good throw, but it didn't fake anyone. See the motion? Now the fake kick. Hostetler rolled, gets rushed. Pretty good throw. Wasn't pass interference.
1st and 10 at their own 30 for the Redskins. Humphreys back to throw it. Chased by Eric Howard. Chased by Dorsey. Finally gets it to Donnie Warren. Johnny Cooks made the stop after an 8-yard gain along with Lawrence Taylor.
Poor old Eric Howard. He missed him 2 times. You see that? Watch, Eric Howard will come in here. He's number 74, one of the better nose tackles. Watch him. Right there, he got him. Nope. He comes up with a bagel. Then he's going to go like this. He got him again. Nope, another air ball. Humphreys is a pretty strong guy.
He's a big guy. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
First time Phil Simms saw him, and he thought he was a linebacker.
That's Riggs. Out to about the 48. Jackson and Guyton made the stop.
You know, you look back at that fake field goal, and usually on a play like that, if you don't really fake them where a guy's wide open, it doesn't work. But now, that may have been the thing that has given the Redskins some light.
First and 10 Redskins at the 48 with just over 3 minutes left in the first half. Humphreys with some time. Gets it to Riggs for not much. Steve Diassi after a gain of 5 with an assist from Johnny Cooks.
This is what the Redskins have to do, you know, being down 14-0, not think that they have to pressure anything. They got plenty of time. It's still the first half. They're going to have a halftime. The worst thing the quarterback can do, a young quarterback, is start to force things and then have more turnovers.
He has 2nd and 5 and puts Monk in motion. Just be patient. Outside to Donnie Warren. Picked up only 2 yards, stopped by Everson Walls.
Hey, we talk about Lawrence Taylor. He lines up in the right side and the left side. This time he's against Big Ed Simmons. Ed Simmons has him in the outside. Then you keep your back in there to help with him and bring your center to that side. So they say, well, Taylor really doesn't always get double teamed. No. Sometimes he gets triple teamed already.
2-minute warning is given to both coaches. 14-0 Giants lead.
Nothing beats the USA. Nothing beats what we've got here. Nothing beats clean, crisp, cold. Nothing beats the king of beers. Yeah, nothing beats a bird, yeah, nothing. Nothing beats a bird, yeah, nothing. Nothing beats a Budweiser. Nothing beats a bird.
Here's another demonstration of Chevy versus Ford. We're loading up these full-size pickups with recyclables. The Chevy has a standard payload advantage of over 400 pounds.
That's a pile of payload the Ford leaves behind.
No wonder so many truck owners recycle their trucks for Chevys. More people are winning with
the heartbeat of America.
Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
You guys just think you're so bad.
This is bad.
I heard that.
Hot and spicy chicken. So good, it's bad.
This isn't bad. This is good. This is incredibly good. I say something bad?
This October at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Remember, next Saturday, college football on CBS begins at 2 Eastern with College Football Today. Then in a big ACC matchup, it'll be Georgia Tech taking on #1 ranked and undefeated Virginia as the Cavaliers try to improve their record to 8-0 this season against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets next Saturday here on CBS. 3rd down and 3. Humphreys back to throw. Up out of the pocket, he'll get the 1st down and more. Down to about the 32. Everson Walls.
You know, Stan Humphreys doesn't see everything, but he had Donnie Warren wide open. Donnie Warren is his tight end, usually a blocker. Watch 85 right in the middle of the screen, Pat. He's wide open. I mean, if Humphreys just looks here, he has a big play. I don't know why he doesn't see him. He must be looking to run.
He had to be. Humphreys barely gets rid of it. Pressured by Taylor.
Hey, we looked at Humphreys last night, and he has a big old knot on his head. He said he doesn't get rid of it until the season's over, and this is one of the reasons he has a knot on his head. You get hit like that. Taylor hit him with his left arm and then kicked him in the face with his left foot.
And John Washington was standing right there also.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's tough to be a quarterback in this league, man, because they're throwing hands and arms and legs and feet and every part at you.
Screen pass to Warren. He is taken down after a small pickup by Washington.
You know, it's funny that Donnie Warren has only caught 1 pass coming into this game all year. I think he's caught 3. And what happened, Stan Humphreys was telling me that Jeff Rutledge, who was a backup quarterback for the Redskins now, when he was with the Giants, he was the scout quarterback. Once he threw to 85, they said, no, don't throw to Warren. They never throw to Donnie Warren. So that's part of the game plan today.
Attackers can hide under cars, so check underneath as you approach. Keep a small flashlight on your keyring to help you see, or ask someone to walk you to your car. Learn more in the driver security book, free from Shell.
Third down. They need 7. Humphreys hit again by Taylor.
I'll tell you, Lawrence Taylor came like he was shot out of a gun. He's going against Jim Lachey. What, 79 Lachey? He's a 300-pound tackle. Taylor just gets that arm in there, gets by him. He takes Lachey, marshals up the middle. Look at the pressure that they put on Humphrey. Boom, from the outside, then Leonard Marshall, 70, coming right up the inside. That's an old sandwich pancake job.
They hadn't been rushing the passer well in the last 3 weeks. Roemiller from 45 yards is good for the Redskins, who finally put some points on the board. It's 14-3 with 1:06 remaining in the first half. Next week here on CBS, San Francisco, Green Bay, where John and I will be, Dallas and the Jets, New Orleans, Cincinnati, Washington and Detroit, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Phoenix, Miami, Chicago, Tampa Bay. And it, of course, starts at 12:30 Eastern Time with this group. Greg and Terry and Leslie and Pat.
You know, it'll be interesting seeing the 49ers next week after seeing the Giants. I know there's a lot of arguments. Who's the best team right now in the NFC? I've seen the 49ers. We've done their games. We've seen the Giants. We've seen the Bears. And I would still have to say that the 49ers are the best team in the league. Now, that doesn't mean at the end of the season they're going to be, or in the playoffs they're going to be.
Do you think the 49ers are where they were last year at the end?
No, I don't think they're there yet, but I don't think anyone else is either.
This Giant defense could be. Here's Megan.
That last series, they sure looked like they were getting there.
Megan broke away from about 6 Redskins. Finally stopped by Brad Edwards after a 30-yard return.
This guy's turning into one of the most exciting players in the league, this Dave Megan. You know, if you look at him, he's not, in one way, he's not a big guy, but if you look at him in another way, he is a big guy. I mean, you look at his body, I mean, those arms, he got pretty big arms there, pretty big forearms. You see how that thing tightens up there? He has pretty big legs. I mean, he is a powerfully built man.
Very strong upper body. Sims out of the spread. Chased by Man, and he threw it away.
Hey, Man is arguing again that Sims threw the ball away. That's the second time that he's done that. And I don't know that Man may not be right, because a quarterback can throw the ball down, but he can't get rid of the ball or throw it away to avoid a sack. I think that's Charles Mann's argument. I think that Sims has done it twice in this first half, both times with Man pursuing him.
2nd and 10, 53 seconds remain, first half. 14-3 Giants. Stacy Robinson made the catch, picked up 8. Walton and Coleman made the stop. You're right, John. They're putting Man everywhere. That time he lined up at right defensive end. Sims to throw. Stacy Robinson again. First down, Giants. Monty Coleman the stop. 6-yard gain. 23 seconds left to play in the first half. Giants timeout. They have 1 left. Scoring summary. Baker from Sims. Giants led 7-0. Bavaro 16 yards away from Sims. 14-0. The Redskins finally. 45-yard field goal by Lohmiller with 1:06 left in the first half. That's the way it is. 14-3.
The Giants have 1 timeout left here. I remember the last time they had a field goal opportunity, they went what they call ninja. Ninja is a fake field goal pass to Lawrence Taylor. Now they would like to get about 15 or 20 more yards either on one play or two plays, and then use that timeout and get a field goal opportunity.
Sims to throw. If he has time. And now he'll just take it. Monty Coleman made sure he stayed down. A loss of 5 for Sims. Looks like something gave way.
Well, I think he knows that that ankle is bad, and he doesn't want to put too much pressure on it. I think that was a coverage sack. He looked and looked and looked and couldn't find anyone open. So he just went down, and he didn't want to have to take a real hit on it, because they can say Phil Sims is 100%, but he's not 100%.
Now they use their last timeout.
I think the thing that Bill Parcells is upset with there is he didn't want to take a loss.
It brings up a 2nd and 15 situation back at the 43-yard line in Giant territory with 14 seconds left.
Yeah, you watch Phil Sims run there, and he's not running the way he did 2 weeks ago down at RFK. He's running what they call a little gingerly.
That's a good word.
The only time I ever use it is the way a quarterback runs.
On 2nd down. They'll make it. Hit by Wilbur Marshall.
You hear that sound that come out of Wilbur Marshall?
I did.
That's something. That has to be some kind of other deal, because he made that hit. Whoa. Some new words come out.
It's the same kind of football game we expected.
And I'll tell you, this and Bart Oates here, that's what you expect in a rivalry. That's what you expect when you get the Redskins going against the Giants.
That's the end of the first half. With the score, the Giants 14, the Redskins 3.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. Hewlett-Packard LaserJet printers, they'll get you noticed. And by Budweiser, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud.
People at Best Western tell me they're remodeling hundreds of their hotels. When I was remodeling my house, I became like a real general contractor. First week, I didn't show up. Now Best Western is updating lobbies, restaurants, rooms, everything, all without disturbing their guests.
At Best Western, you'll notice the changes, but not the changing.
To tell you the truth, I don't see how they do it.
Soldier Field, Chicago. Over 300 dead batteries and 1 die-hard battery. Our most powerful ever jump-starts every one. Die-hard. More power when you need it most.
You've heard it said before. It's not just what you say. It's how you say it. LaserJet printers from Hewlett-Packard. They'll get you noticed.
Starting the day with the New York Times won't guarantee it'll be a better day, but it can help make a difference. The Times can give you the options that soften the edges and make life a little more interesting.
No pizza before dinner, Michael.
With ideas and information meaningful to you, the Times can sharpen your mind and stimulate your senses, whether it starts your day
It's delicious.
or just becomes a part of it.
Oh, what's for dinner?
The New York Times. Now 7-day delivery is just $2.25 a week. Not available in some areas.
Every beer in the world tries to measure up to German beer. Every German beer tries to measure up to Beck's, the #1 imported German beer. #1, because when that great Beck's flavor is unlocked, no beer in the world quite measures up to it. The best of the best to you from Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Well, those of you who have been watching the Redskins and the Giants, you've seen a real tough effort by the Giant defense. They lead the Redskins by a score of 14-3, and Stephen Baker and Mark Bavaro on the receiving end of Phil Simms' touchdown passes. But in the pregame show, you'll recall Terry talked about what might happen on defense for the Giants. What about it, Terry?
Well, we said the thing that have hurt the Giants is wide sweeps, but what the Giants would do would go to a four-man line. This is now 1, 2, 3, and here's Lawrence Taylor lined up in a stand-up defensive end. This is your middle linebacker, and the other wide side linebacker is Cooks. What this does, Cooks comes from the outside, forcing support. Here's the linebacker covering. Here comes Lawrence Taylor from the outside with a spill in here. You cannot run wide sweeps. The thing that has hurt the Giants is sweeps, but with the forward-man front, no one has been able to run wide against the Giants.
And the Redskins have managed just 27 yards rushing today, just 46 yards of total offense as they trail the Giants at halftime. In San Francisco, the 49ers lead the Browns by 2 touchdowns. Joe Montana has thrown a 14-yard pass to Jerry Rice for a touchdown. John Taylor not dressed but not playing so far in this game, and Roger Craig did not dress for the Cleveland games. Chicago is at Phoenix, and the Bears are all over the Cardinals as they approach halftime down in Arizona, and a huge crowd on hand in Phoenix, Arizona. Look at Jim Harbaugh, though, 67 yards for Ron Morris.
Little play-action pass. This man's coming off his best game ever against the Rams, had a week off, and picks up where he left off, and Ron Morris, a Dallas young man, SMU, makes a nice grab.
Neil Anderson has scored 2 touchdowns, both from 2 yards out, and the Bears rolling against the Cardinals 28-0 with a minute remaining to be played in the first half. And at San Diego, the Chargers leading Tampa Bay by a score of 24-7. Marion Butts has scored 2 touchdowns, and Chris Chandler on in relief of Vinny Testaverde for Tampa Bay this afternoon, 5 of 7, 110 yards, and 1 touchdown pass. The NFL Today continues here on CBS after this word from your local station.
A 20-year-old murder mystery
The man has been in prison for a crime he did not commit.
comes back to haunt Jessica.
The real killer is getting frightened now.
Murder, She Wrote. Then, Jill Eikenberry.
Bunny's kidnapped?
And Michael Tucker.
I'm just borrowing it.
They're not practicing law, they're breaking it. The Secret Life of Archie's Wife, tonight. WIOU takes you behind the scenes.
You ever make love to a black person?
No. Have you?
With some interesting people. WIOU, Wednesday on CBS.
This is CBS.
Stop at the green for detergent gasoline.
Introducing the new Hess detergent gasolines.
Stop at the green to keep your engine clean.
Now get super detergent power from Hess to clean fuel injectors and protect precision valves.
Stop!
The tests prove it. The new Hess detergent gasolines deliver exceptional cleaning power, and that means exceptional performance.
Stop at the green!
Hess, power to perform.
Decades before women fought for their role in the workplace or their right to vote, Mutual of New York sold the nation's first life insurance policy to a woman. It's that kind of innovative thinking that's provided 146 years of uninterrupted dividends for the present and annuities and pensions for the future of a new generation of mothers, daughters, and sisters, and their fathers, sons, and brothers.
Mutual of New York. Money for life.
You've been up in the air for hours. Now you gotta make up the time. Aren't you glad Hertz has a faster, easier way to rent a car? #1 Club Gold. No paperwork, no stopping at counters, nothing to slow you down.
Hertz, we're America's wheels.
You go straight to our gold parking area, where your car is waiting, ready to go.
I'm gonna make it.
Hertz,
It's the fastest way to rent a car.
Killer Wires, Thursday at 6 and 11 on Channel 2 News.
Greg Gumbel, Terry Bradshaw back in New York with scores and highlights from the earlier games today. The Eagles at Texas Stadium to take on the Cowboys. The Eagles up by a point, but Isaac Holt comes on and blocks Jeff Fiegel's punt, and the Cowboys took immediate advantage with Emmitt Smith taking it in from 3 yards out.
Emmitt Smith being used properly by the Cowboy. He is an eye back, and Johnson puts him in the eye, uses his strength. Cowboys score.
They led by 6, but under a minute, Randall Cunningham went to work.
Well, we said in the pregame show this would be the sack bowl, but you notice there, Randall Cunningham Cunningham plenty of time to throw, and Calvin Williams simply outleaps the other Williams of the Cowboys and makes the winning catch for the Eagles.
Buddy Ryan, did he shake Jimmy Johnson's hand? No. Meanwhile, Minnesota at Green Bay, or against Green Bay in Milwaukee. Rich Gannon's pass deflected and intercepted at the line by Sean Patterson. One of 6 Viking turnovers on the day. Patterson, 9 yards in the touchdown. Jerry Burns goes down again. 24-10, Packers the final score. Detroit at New Orleans. Reuben Mays on the receiving end, but watch him cough it up. And Detroit's Jimmy Williams is the right man at the right time. Picks it up, rambles up the sidelines, 53 yards. The Saints with a team record 8 turnovers today. The Saints lose to a run-and-shoot team for the 3rd time this year, 27-10. Miami at Indianapolis. It was a bad day for Indianapolis quarterbacks. Jack Trudeau hammered and knocked out by Cliff Odom here. Joe Ferguson was ineffective. Jeff George had a rough day. Meanwhile, Dan Marino, 4 yards to Jim Jensen. And the Dolphins go to 6-1 on the season with the victory over Indianapolis. At New England, Zeke Moab back in action. And so was Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly, 20 yards to number 84, Keith McKellar. The Bills are 6-1, New England 1-6. And the Jets at Houston, well, Evander Holyfield, the heavyweight champ, was watching. Here's Warren Moon out of the end zone.
The worst place in the world to throw the football from if you're a quarterback is standing in your own end zone. You get happy feet, you get a little uncomfortable, and you put a lot of pressure on your offensive line. There's the fumble by Moon. Jets recover, Jets win.
The NFL Today continues in a moment.
Even after lying around for 4 years, today's Duracell batteries still give you the life you need. There's a date that proves it. So you've got nothing to be afraid of. Today's Duracell, date-coded for 4 years storage. Get a free Dracula Cradle or coloring book with any Duracell battery purchase. Look for the display at your local store.
Now, every time you use the American Express card, you could win a trip anywhere, to do anything. Because American Express is giving away $10,000 dream weekends. One a day, every day for the rest of the year. Every time you use the card, you have another chance to win. Only with the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
For live in-concert performance, Optimus. Available at Radio Shack, America's technology store.
Monday. The new season's best comedy series is on Monday.
All right.
The funniest night of the week just got funnier. A special all-new Evening Shade. Then, when Casey feels neglected, will she enlist to get noticed? Or will she recruit the Major for high tea? Perfect. Major Dad after a special Evening Shade Monday.
Has the Flash met his match?
I think I'm losing it. I got the Flash's hand. How can we lose?
Thursday.
CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chrysler, where luxury is engineered to give you the advantage. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars. And by McDonald's. You know the one. It's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun.
Halftime at Giant Stadium. It's the Giants 14, the Washington Redskins 3. Pat Summerall here again with John Madden. Remember we were talking when we were down in Washington 3 weeks ago about the different kind of picture the Giants present as opposed to the Eagles, and Stan Humphries being a young quarterback does look a little confused.
Well, he does. I mean, you know, it's a new offense for him. Playing is new. Having guys rushing live at him. The Giants are really putting a big rush on Stan Humphries. I said before the game that I think he has to get the ball to the posse. In the first half, he's only completed 2 passes to the posse. Of course, that being Ricky Sanders, Art Monk, and Gary Clark. And, you know, that's easy for us to say up in here that he has to do it. But the Giant defense has something to do with that. And of course, guys getting open and all those things have something to do with it.
Of course, knowing Joe Gibbs, as we both do, the one thing he wants to do, number one, of course, as we said before, is avoid turnovers. Number two is I like to run the ball, and they haven't been able to do that either.
And I'll tell you a third thing about Joe Gibbs, Pat. I think that he does as well at halftime making adjustments as anyone in football. And I would bet that the Redskins are going to get the ball now in this opening kickoff, and I'll bet this will be a good drive. I'm not saying they'll score, but he puts his best stuff back together at halftime as good as anyone.
Barr's kickoff will be returned by Walter Stanley. Almost broke one earlier and almost broke another one. Renee Thompson, who is still face down, finally made the tackle.
Renee Thompson has to be one of the toughest guys in the league. I said he's playing here with he has a broken shoulder. He has a dislocated thumb. And he's a marked man because he's the best cover guy in the NFL.
And Bill Parcells told us, I can't get him not to practice. He wants to practice every play.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, you know he's not going to miss a game. But as you say, this guy won't even miss one single practice.
Redskin ball at their own 46, first and 10. Giants leading 14-10. Humphreys to work. Quick up the middle to Biner. Inside the Giant 40. Stopped by Mark Collins. Picked up 16 yards.
Yeah, that's what the Redskins do, like anyone does at halftime. They go in and they look at the pictures, they look at the tendencies of the first half, then they go up and say, okay, look, this is what we want to do, and they put a series of plays together. This play was called in the locker room.
First and 10 at the 38. Take this to Biner. Pass to Warren. Look what the Redskins have done in 1990 in the second half.
I think a lot of that is a tribute, obviously, to their team, but I think it's a tribute to Joe Gibbs. I said just at halftime that this is a top coaching staff, and one of the things that they do well is make halftime adjustments as well as anyone.
Second down and 3 at the 31. Near a first down, stopped by John Washington. He got 4, so that should be enough.
Yeah, you can see that one of their problems, or one of the things they want to do is go play pass on first down. That's Bill Belichick. Of course, he's the defensive coordinator of the Giants. Now, he has to make not the new plays. He has to make adjustments now to what the Redskins talked about in there at halftime. Joe Gibbs has all those notes on his notepad. He got a two-sided notepad with plays. Oh, that's going to be as short yardage there is.
You know, this is another area, this so-called red zone, although they're not quite there yet. That's usually 20 and inside, where they have had some problems.
The Redskins have had problems. One, they've had problems, and two, I think they're psyched out about the Giants. I know Joe Gibbs says that he thinks they're the best inside the 20 defense ever in football.
Humphreys gets the first down. Dorsey made the stop. He got just one.
When you see the nose tackle, number 74, back like that, you know it's a first down. Watch 74. And when he's the guy in the middle and he gets driven back that way, you don't have to be any kind of an official that's going to mark it with your foot. You just give him the first down.
They took him out of the picture.
They straightened him up and took him backward.
First down at the Giant 28. Fake reverse to Monk. Out to Warren. Warren steps over a Giant, Mark Collins, and gets a first down. Johnny Cooks, that looks like the same play the Giants ran.
Well, I know, and Donnie Warren being the receiver, I think, is a big story. That was what, talking to Stan Humphreys, he said that you know, they have never used Warren. Warren is more like a tackle than he is a tight end. They list him as a tight end. He's usually used as a blocker. I was telling a story about how Jeff Rutledge earlier threw to him once in practice when he was with the Giants. The Giant coaches said, don't ever throw to number 85. They never throw to him.
He's caught 5 today. That's Biner. And not much doing for him. John Washington and Johnny Cooks. They give Biner 2.
Now, this is a drive that, you know, we were talking about that the Redskins would come up with. Now the thing is, can they get the ball in the end zone? That's where they haven't had the success.
2nd and 8 at the 15.
You look against the Giants, they've been down there 13 times, the other team, and they've only allowed 5 touchdowns.
They have Monk and Clark to the left. And now Monk goes the other way. Humphreys back to throw it. To Warren. To about the 6, an 8-yard gain. Cooks and Reasons on the stop.
You know, Humphreys told me in the lobby when I saw him, he said, let me just give you a hint. He said, Donnie Warren's going to be a big receiver. I said, a receiver? He's a blocker, you mean? He goes, no. He said he's going to catch more passes against the Giants than he's caught all year. And you can tell when the quarterback tells you that, you know it's going to happen because he's the guy that's looking for him.
And that's his career high now, 6 catches.
And I think, you know, part of that could be Jeff Rutledge, again, the backup quarterback for the Redskins now, who came over from the Giants. That could be one way that he could have helped the Redskins by telling them they don't pay any attention to Donnie Warren.
3rd and about a foot. Biner will be the running back. And Biner gets the carry. Near a first down. Taken down by Eric Howard. He was the first one there. It's close.
I think they needed less than a yard. That has to be a first down. I think the momentum of this game changed from the Giants to the Redskins when the Giants missed that that fake field goal. If this isn't a first down, the Redskins got a bad mark. This has to be a first down.
Well, it's not.
They got a bad mark. Now what does Joe Gibbs do?
Here comes Gerald Riggs. Some very animated signals from the sideline.
Looks like a little confusion on the sidelines. This is the formation that the Redskins call heavy jumbo.
There's Phil Simms. He hasn't had the ball yet in the second half. 4th and inches. Riggs and Biner. The give is to Riggs, and he got it.
You know, Gerald Riggs has that ability in short yardage of getting underneath. Now watch him as he goes in here. Instead of going up straight, he gets down low, and he gets underneath all the guys that are trying to jump. Some short yardage runners jump and go up in the air to go over. Gerald Riggs goes underneath everything.
Biner is the H-back. Riggs is the deep back. Humphreys on a roll. Away from one. Away from another. Touchdown. Ron Middleton got the block on Johnny Cooks.
There's the guy, number 86, Ron Middleton. He could have been the receiver. He was watching Humphreys. And when he saw Humphries decide to run, he just turned down and knocked down a Giant, and that let Humphries get in the end zone.
Miller for the extra point, and he's good. Very, very strong-looking drive by the Redskins, and they narrow things to 14-10.
The Cadillac Sedan DeVille. The Chrysler Fifth Avenue. It's got a driver's side airbag, air conditioning, a powerful engine, available wire wheel covers, room for 6, dual electric mirrors.
As you can see, these two cars offer the same kind of luxury. More or less. Chrysler Fifth Avenue.
Now get cashback savings or low APR financing on new 91 models.
In today's higher revving and hotter running engines, wear is a greater problem than ever before. Oil breakdown can shorten the life of vital engine parts. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, because driving today can be a grind. Castrol.
Here's the fake. You see, he was trying to get the ball to Donnie Warren on a bootleg. They finally covered Warren, so Stan Humphries goes the other way. And look what he finds out here. Here's Middleton right here, but he's covered by Johnny Cook, so he can either throw it to him or run. So Middleton turns into a blocker for him.
Line drive kickoff to Meggett. He is wrapped up at about the 22 by Sidney Johnson. 14-10. The Giants lead here. A reminder, next Saturday, college football on CBS begins at 2 o'clock Eastern Time with College Football Today. And in a big ACC matchup, it'll be Georgia Tech and Virginia. Virginia ranked #1, unbeaten. First and 10 Giants at their own 23. Anderson. Hit by Alvin Walton and Todd Bowles.
You know, it seems like every time these two teams play, Pat, no matter what happens in the beginning of the game, you know it's always going to come down to a big play or not in the fourth quarter anyway.
The last 5 games, all won by the Giants, have been very close.
There's always a big play by the Giants and a turnover by the Redskins.
Here's Sims. Ball batted away. Fred Stokes got the hand up.
I don't know where the ball went.
I don't either. I never saw it.
Looked like he threw the ball and then the ball disappeared.
Sims grabbed his face mask.
This is something. He's getting a pretty big push in there. The ball just was hit by Stokes, and then it just went right down into the ground.
3rd down and 7 at the 26. Make it 3rd and 6. They show blitz, and here they come. And Sims had to get rid of it. Al Boyd Mays sneaked up on the line of scrimmage and put the heat on Sims. Pass was intended for Meggett.
You know, in the last game when they played at Washington, the Redskins didn't blitz the Giants once.
Landetta back to kick, standing at the 10. That's Walter Stanley.
They got 2 guys out there, and Renee Thompson. They're going to try like heck not to let him get down there.
Landetta's kick is good. But hanging. Flag on the play. And it was against Renee Thompson, I'm sure. Or called when they hit him in the back.
This game has not only played well on offense and defense, but also special teams.
Let's Let's watch number 21, Renee Thompson.
Well, you know, see there's two guys lined up on him. They're always going to start that way.
Here it comes right here.
Yeah, right there, push from behind. He's hard to block legally.
The Redskins will take it over. It's 14-10 Giants.
What is McDonald's McRib sandwich?
It's saucy. What it is. Sassy. What it is. Smothered. Spicy. It's full of flavor. Yeah. It's really something. Yo, it's def. Juicy. Smoking. McRib. What it is.
And now with large fries and an icy Coke, it's McRib Pack.
You know the one McDonald's for food, books, and fun.
Introducing an easier way for your family to call you at home.
Hi.
New MCI Personal 800. Now they don't need a calling card.
Honey. It's my sister.
We've got to go.
They don't need any money.
Hi, Mom.
Sweetheart. It's Bobby.
You gotta go.
They can call you anytime from any phone.
Susan, we gotta go.
New MCI Personal 800.
It's the phone.
No, it's not.
A very new, very affordable way to stay in touch.
Presenting the $9,500 Advantage. It comes with the Chrysler New Yorker 5th Avenue, which comes with a fuel-efficient 3.3-liter V6, a standard driver's airbag, better owner care than any Cadillac sedan, and a price tag $9,500 less than Cadillac Sedan DeVille. Chrysler 5th Avenue. Luxury with a $9,500 Advantage.
Now get the added advantage of cash back or low APR financing on new 91 models.
William S. Cayley, tribute to a broadcasting giant, Wednesday at 8.
Back at Giant Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 8:20 left in the third quarter. First and 10 at their own 26, 14-10 the score. Here come the Giants showing blitz. Perry Williams. They had the right play call. Gerald Riggs, the ball carrier.
You know, the interesting thing, Pat, it was first down, and the Giants are using 5 defensive backs. Perry Williams started out here. He came into here, and here he blitzes. So he comes in here in a blitz, but they started using 3 linemen, 3 linebackers, and this series 5 defensive backs.
3 down linemen. Williams again up on the corner. Here comes Taylor after Humphreys. They get it out to Warren. Donnie Warren gets the Redskin first down, stopped by Reason.
And we were talking about Bill Belichick and the adjustments that he had to make. The adjustments that he made was to go 5 defensive backs on first down. Of course, what adjustment do you have for Donnie Warren? I mean, who would have thought that Donnie Warren would ever catch a pass?
Well, both coaches said, you know, we see each other so many times. We have to do something different, something they aren't used to seeing.
Well, who would think at this point that Don Warren would have 7 and the posse would have 2?
Humphreys gets the ball to Jimmy Johnson this time. Another tight end, the receiving tight end. Jackson and Guyton on the stop.
Humphreys to Johnson.
You know, it was funny since that, you know, we talked about how the momentum changed from the Giants to the Redskins. And I go back to that point of the Giants not getting that fake field goal as being the point where it really changed.
It really turned things around. Humphreys back to throw. He has some time. He drops it out to Warren. And Warren for 5 yards. Here's what you were talking about.
Look at that. The total offense before the fake field goal, the Redskins only had 3 yards. The Giants had 180. Now, after the fake field goal, the Redskins have had 124 yards of offense, and the Giants only 12.
2nd and 5. Things have indeed really turned around. Johnson, the tight end, split wide to the right. Warren on the move. It's to Riggs, taken down from behind by Pepper Johnson. Got a yard. 5:15 left third quarter.
I was just going to say, I think Stan Humphries feels a lot more comfortable with a running game, as all quarterbacks do, and passing to his backs and tight ends as compared to his wide receivers.
Underneath the zone.
I don't know how comfortable he is in third down, though.
Doesn't get it. Eric Howard tripped him up. He scrambled for 2, but didn't get the first down.
And that is a good play by the Giant defense, because that puts the Redskins in a situation where they're really too far for a field goal, and they're going to have to punt. Watch here. See, he sees that hole there. Had he been able to get up there and get the first down, they could go for it.
Fourth down, and they need about 2 yards. Long 2 it is.
And they only had 10 guys in there. I don't believe they're going to go for it.
The clock is down to 8 seconds. Maybe he's going to try to pull them offside. Now they call a timeout.
Yeah, I didn't believe that the Redskins in this situation, down 14-10 on the road, would go for it.
Flag on the play.
I got 2 points tackled.
Gordon McCarter's a referee. We see all the officials now are wearing that black armband on their left arm with number 60. That was Dick Jorgensen's number, the fine referee who passed away a couple weeks ago.
Washington had requested timeout. There is no false start. It is a charged timeout. Washington, number 1.
There is no timeout, Gordon McCarter said.
I think what he said is they did call a timeout, but what the complaint is that the Redskins had moved before they called the timeout.
On Wall Street, fortunes are won and lost and won again before 10:30. Amid the halls of ivy, the best ideas often come and go before 10:30. And on the back lots of Hollywood, love often blooms and fades before 10:30. Which is why Federal Express delivers before 10:30 at more places around the country than anyone else. Federal Express, absolutely, positively the best in the business.
3 reminders from a leader in 4-wheel drive and all-wheel drive technology. 1. Don't try this without the advantage of 4-wheel drive. 2. Don't try this without the advantage of all-wheel drive. And 3. Don't try 1 or 2 without the advantage of Jeep or Eagle.
Hey!
In Street Hikers by LA Gear, at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
It's Halloween magic with blockbuster comedy.
Learn to throw your voice, fool your friends, fun and party.
Batman's Michael Keaton, Alec Baldwin, and Gina Davis star in Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Tuesday.
The Redskins have Moshinko in the game. That's the punter. Trying to hang it up there. Niggett signals fair catch. was the man who threw it backwards out of the end zone. John Brandis is the man who downed it at about the 1.
Chrysler Fifth Avenue, Imperial, and New Yorker Salon are all engineered with ABS brakes, so you're safer when you drive. With our hands-free visor phone, you're safer making a call. Our remote entry system means you're safer at night. And our driver's airbag means you're safer in an accident. Chrysler Safety, because the most important thing that goes into our cars is you.
Now get cashback savings or low APR financing on new 91 models.
We built this business
To give you vision, style,
built this business
to help entertain you.
We built this business to build your freedom.
ITT built these businesses into leaders. We built them by taking care of people.
We built this business. We built this business to build your dreams. Built this business.
My very sensitive Laker brother, Lottie D-Box, just shaved off his beard with the new Chic Slim Twin Plus.
How'd it go, Bloody?
Now overwhelming.
How do you like the new Aloe Comfort Strip?
I'm no longer irritating.
The new Slim Twin Plus with Aloe from Chic.
When you own your own business, you sweat every detail.
Avis is the only major rent-a-car company owned by its employees. And they're trying harder with a 49-step quality control program to give you a well-maintained car. Avis, we're trying harder than ever.
The play. Joe Howard had the ball. Threw it back over his head. And the play is being reviewed.
See, they ruled that it was a touchback. So now it's being reviewed. Was he in the end zone? It doesn't look like it. There he wasn't in the end zone. Now they said that the ball went into the end zone. Then they said the ball comes out to the 20. Now they're reviewing it. I don't think it was in the end zone. This looked like the same thing that happened before. Makes contact, he throws it, he doesn't touch anything. Throws it back out there. The official right there reviewed or said that it was on. I think that ball should be left where it was.
On the 1-yard line.
We have a reversal. It is ruled that the man who downed the football did not touch the end zone. Therefore, the ball will be on the 1-yard line, first down.
And that's where the Giants will take over. At the 1-yard line. We're at Giants Stadium with 3:51 left in the third quarter. Pat Summerall with John Madden, and it's 14-10. The Giants over the Redskins, their second meeting of the year. The first one was 24-20 Giants. This one is 14-10 Giants. Anderson out of the end zone, gets a little running room to the 5. Maybe to the 6. Stopped by Fred Stokes.
It's always a big thing to get it out of there because, first of all, your punter needs 15 yards. So once you get outside the 5, if you have to punt, then your punter has that yardage. The second thing you worry about here is passing out of the end zone, because if you have a penalty, such as holding, and you're thrown out of your own end zone, that's a touchback. I mean, that's a safety, 2-point safety.
So now it's 2nd and 5 at the 6. Anderson again. 3-yard pickup. So they'll need 2 for a first. Fred Stokes again on the bottom of the pile.
This is a big play for both sides.
Third and 2 at the 9 with 2.5 minutes left, third quarter. Handoff Anderson, he broke a tackle and got the first down. Brad Edwards brought it down. Anderson got 6 yards.
That is a big 6 yards on stats. I won't show up on anything for O.J. Anderson tomorrow in the newspapers. When you talk about a first down, Roberts' block in there helps make it. A good cutback by O.J. helps make it, but that's a big first down. In his last couple of years, O.J. Anderson's been making a lot of big plays for this Giant team.
He's never going to wear out, or so it seems. 1st and 10 at the 15. And Anderson again, and again in the second effort. He gets 5 yards. Monuski and Williams on the stop.
Yeah, you can always tell who a coach or a team has the most confidence in. You know, when you really need it, who do you give it to, and who do you run behind? And if you look at that side, you really needed it. They gave it to O.J. Anderson, and they run behind Mark Bavaro.
2nd and 5. Good block by Howard Cross to spring O.J. Sims has Maurice Carthon and Anderson behind him. Anderson again, flag on the play. Not much doing this time, but a penalty marker down. Todd Bowles up to make the hit with Darrell Grant. Clock is stopped with 42 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
They're checking the down thing there again, see?
It's close to a first down. It has to be.
That's what they want to look for, to see if it's a first down.
The penalty will make it a first down.
It's not an automatic. They had to mark off the penalty yardage before they knew it was a first down.
1st and 10. The Giants at the 25. They started this at the 1. Ingram and Baker come wide right. 2 tight ends set up. Anderson. Stopped by Grant after a pickup of 3.
That is some drive. They started on the 1-yard line. I think they gave the ball to number 24 every play. And on that drive alone, he earned his paycheck for this week.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, the Giants 14, the Redskins 10. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This is CBS.
I was looking for something a little bigger. I'll take it.
When the moment comes to start life on your own, there's no better card than MasterCard.
It's just the bare necessity.
With payment flexibility and nearly 3 times the acceptance of American Express.
What is this?
For the way we really live.
So what do you think of my place?
It's definitely you.
MasterCard. Master the moment.
Need a plumber? You'll find more ads in the New Jersey Bell Yellow Pages. But what good is a book full of plumbers when you just need one? Who works at night? Who takes credit cards? Who can come right now? Odds are you'll find the best choice in the book that gives you the most choice. The genuine New Jersey Bell Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. The Bell Atlantic Company. Say you needed a room for the night where they take credit cards.
Air Canada travels the world and brings back to you its international accents. like the Swiss accent on precise timing, London's on courtesy, the warmth of Lisbon, the charm of Vienna. The next time you fly the U.S. to Canada, choose Air Canada, the international way to cross the border.
Bill Cosby's Straight Talk on teen sex on Entertainment Tonight.
We begin the fourth quarter. And here's the drive that's underway right now. 5 plays, 27 yards, all rushing yards by Otis Anderson. He carries again to the 30. Picked up perhaps 3. Wilbur Marshall made the stop. And O.J. gets a rest.
Well, a well-deserved rest, because even if the Giants don't pick up the first down by taking time off the clock and gaining 30 yards of field position, he did his job.
3rd and 5, call it. At the 30. The Giants, one of 2 unbeaten teams in the NFL. Sims out of the spread. To Bavaro. He's at the 46 and out of bounds by Bowles. A pickup of 16.
Bavaro lines up as a slot guy. See him as a stand-up position. Bowles working on him. Bavaro just running an out pattern, knowing where the first down marker is. As O.J. Anderson did the running, then Phil Simms and Mark Bavaro, they kind of put the dot on that eye.
14-10 the score. That's Simms' first completion of the second half. That's Anderson, steps away from one tackler. Stopped by Monty Coleman. Darrell Grant had the first shot at him.
Watch Bart Oates, number 65. He's going to fire out, gets his head down, and he misses Minuski. So then he's right there, boom, to make the play. If you don't get the nose tackle blocked in a 3-man line, you can't run inside. If you don't get the middle linebacker blocked in a 4-man line, you can't run inside.
2nd and 11. Rodney Hampton is the lone setback. Navarro has it go through his hand. They were blitzing Simms. Kurt Govea was covering Navarro.
Oh, will Bavaro be upset on that one. When you get linebacker coverage and your quarterback sees you and gets the ball to you and you drop it, that really upsets you, because first of all, you ought to beat the guy. Then you think after you catch the ball, you ought to be able to outrun him.
3rd and 11. Giants at their own 45. Rodney Hampton is out, and Meggett is in.
Be interesting to see how much urgency the Redskins have. If they have urgency, they will blitz here.
Simms gets it to Meggett. He's out of bounds, about a foot short of the first down, it looks like. This is going to be close.
You know, Meggett has this thing that is called scat. Now watch it. He's tapping his head there. He's saying he's going to go to the left. Now he can go through the line and go anywhere he wants to. I think when he tapped his helmet on the left side, that meant to Simms, I'm going out left. Simms was looking 3rd down all the way for David Meggett.
They're going to bring out the chains again. This is close.
See, he's watching Meggett all the way. See him watch, and then he just puts it right in there. If it's not a first down, you're ahead 14-10. You're Bill Parcells. What do? Over the years, he's been a coach who has gone for it. This year, he's 6 for 9. Last week, he didn't get one. He tried a quarterback sneak. He said yesterday that was a stupid play.
They're going for it.
I bet this time the quarterback, I know the quarterback won't carry it because that's Phil Simms. Maurice Carthon will be the blocker. And I would bet anything that he gives it to O.J. Anderson.
He went over for a visit while they were getting the chains set up again with Parcells to make sure he knows what he wants.
Well, you know they're going to gang up on O.J. Anderson because, one, he's the only back in the backfield, and Phil Simms, the quarterback, can't run.
Anderson. I don't know. Alvin Walton up in a hurry. I don't think so.
He didn't make it. I would have left Carthon in the backfield and let him be the lead block. I never like to send a guy, see, straight in there with no lead block. You always like to send someone with a lead block. He was hit by Charles Mann and turned backward. He didn't gain an inch on that play.
Mann and Walton.
Watch when he runs into 71, who's in a pinch move. There he is. 71, Mann got the penetration.
And the Redskins take over at their own 44.
Maybe the fake field goal wasn't the big momentum thing. Maybe this will turn out to be the big changer.
Here comes the counter play. Flags down everywhere. Pass intended for Biner as they fake the counter. But a flag on the play.
12 men on the defense. 5 yards, still first down.
Well, the Giants had some trouble. Remember, they were using 5 defensive backs on first down. That time, I think they had 5 defensive backs, 4 linebackers, and 3 linemen.
And that's too many.
Bill Parcells is thinking, boy, we've fallen apart here.
12:24 left to play. 1st and 5, almost at midfield for Washington. 14-10 to score. Giants lead. That's to Biner. He tries to get to the outside. Right now for an NFL update, let's send you again back to New York and to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, at Phoenix, you saw the score. Johnny Johnson, 21-yard scamper around the right side, gets into the end zone. What was once a 28-point Chicago lead is now down to 28-14 in the third. Back to Pat and John.
Back at Giants Stadium, the place is raucous. Giants 14, Redskins 10. 2nd and 1. Handoff Biner. Biner with room. Biner to the 35. Stopped by Jackson. A gain of 11 by Ernest Biner.
You know who made a good block on that one is Ed Simmons, a right tackle, who is really coming into his own as a run blocker. He's always been a good pass protector, but watch 76 right there. Boom, he gets Taylor out of the way. Now he stays with him. See him run him by him. Now he's going to go get Taylor one more time yet, right at the end there. But he shielded Taylor out of there.
1st and 10, Redskins at the 35. Humphrey back to throw it.
Go, thank you.
Gets it out to Jimmy Johnson to about the 30.
Come on, Jimmy.
Picked up 4. Mark Collins knocked him down.
I thought the intensity level in the first quarter of this game was as high as I've seen all season, but right now in this quarter, it's even higher.
2nd down and 6.
Now this is just what it's all about.
Oh, yeah.
And if you could bottle this and carry it around with you every week, this would be the greatest game in the world.
2nd down. They fake the reverse. Humphreys gets it out to Warren. He's tripped up short of the first down by Everson Walls.
Donnie Warren knew he was going to catch the passes today. You see him, he has a lot more smiles on his face today. He's usually in there blocking all day. Here's a waggle. Boom, he hits it out there to Warren. The tight ends have caught 11 passes today, Pat, and the posse, the 3 of them, have only caught 2 passes.
3rd and 2. Gotta be hard to hear for anybody. Humphreys back to throw. Caught by Ricky Sanders at about the 12. Humphreys hit hard by Pepper Johnson just as he let it go.
I'll tell you, he got up a little wobbly, too, but that was a big third down play. That's only the third catch for the posse. That was a big catch, though. But, boy, did Stan Humphreys pay for it. Watch Pepper Johnson here. It's going to be a rollout. He's looking. He sees Sanders right there, and look at the hit by Pepper Johnson just as he threw it.
1st and 10 at the 16-yard line of the Giants. Riggs is the ball carrier this time. He's at about the 12. Again stopped by Pepper Johnson and Mark Collins. Got 4.
And then he spun to the back. Watch, he's going to counter to the right, run to the left. There's not going to be anything there, so he's going to spin. He put a spinner on Lawrence Taylor, then went back from the original way he started.
2nd and 6, Redskins. 8:20 left to play. Humphreys to Monk to about the 3. Guyton and Jackson took him down, but they got 10 yards.
Well, you know, it was a matter of time where he had to get these guys in the game. Been working his tight ends. Then on this drive, he's hit 2 big plays to his wide receivers. The first one to Ricky Sanders, and that one to Art Monk. I'll tell you one thing, it's hard to stay with a guy like Monk when he has that much time. Stan Humphreys is 11 for 11 this half. Whatever he did at halftime was right.
Briggs the deep back. And gets to about the 2. Tried to cut it back inside. Pepper Johnson again. Made the stop, no gain.
Hey, this stadium is about in shock. They went through it last week, remember, with the Cardinals. The stadium went in shock, and the Giants had to come from behind. And now they're starting to think, can the Redskins break this snake-bitten streak?
2nd and goal at the 3. Riggs is the deep back. The fake is to Riggs. Humphreys, no place to go. Pass is picked off in the end zone, bounced off of Biner. Jackson came up with the deflection.
What a big play by Greg Jackson. Remember last time they played in Washington, he got 2 interceptions.
You can't hear anything. To summarize, the posse has only 3 receptions for 23 yards. Humphreys 18 out of 25, 136, 2 interceptions. Sims 15 out of 23, 2 touchdowns. Tight end Donnie Warren, that's correct, has 9 catches for the Redskins.
You can't blame Humphreys for that last interception. That was right in Ernest Biner's hand.
Anderson stopped by Eric Williams, but he got 5 more.
Let's watch the interception again, Pat. Stan Humphreys does everything he has to. Good play fake. He's looking. Watch 21 there. Biner, he's wide open. The ball just goes right through his hands, hits his shoulder pads, and there's Greg Jackson. Hey, you can't blame the quarterback for that interception. It looked like the Giants have intercepted him, but Biner was wide open in the end zone and just dropped that one.
2nd and 5. Anderson once more. Stacked up after a couple. Maybe 3. Darrell Grant and Fred Stokes on the bottom of the defensive stack.
I tell you, this is a 3rd down. I'll bet you it'll probably be a passing play because it's a little longer. Usually we consider short yardage to be 3rd and 2 or less. And if the Giants don't make it, if they come up with 4th down, I would bet they don't go for it again the rest of this game.
Anderson has 21 carries for 73 yards, and he, again, is the lone setback. pass intended for Baker, and the Giants will have to punt. 5:24 left to play.
Good defense by Mayhew. They tried to just throw a little quick out there to Stephen Baker, and Mark Mayhew, who you would think would play a little soft on third down, was playing Baker tight.
Stanley back deep for Washington. Landetta to kick it. Chases Stanley back to the 19. And look who's there. Rene Thompson.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Oldsmobile. Stop by your Oldsmobile dealer and see what's new from the new generation of Olds. The Upjohn Company. If you're concerned about hair loss, see your doctor. And by America's favorite light beer, Miller Lite, the sole sponsor of the NFL Player of the Year Award.
Redskins at their own 19. 5:13 left to play. Humphreys back to throw. The blitz from the outside. Incomplete. Harry Williams. Here's the previous punt.
This is what they do to Rene Thompson. You know that you're a marked man, and he is the best cover guy in football. They put two on him. He just runs right by him. They grab him. They do everything, and he gets down and still makes this big tackle. And I'll tell you another guy that probably doesn't get enough credit is punter Sean Landetta. I mean, that goes with the defense and a punting game like this guy is punting remarkably.
Second down. They still need 10. He has some time. Finer out of bounds. Picked up 5. That'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Well, that's been the adjustment. You know, Humphrey started out 11 for 11 in this second half. The adjustment of the Giant defense has been to go 5 defensive backs. They put Terry Williams in there, who's been the starting corner, along with their regular 4.
3rd and 5. Here comes the blitz again. This time they pick it up, but the pass is picked off by Everson Wall. Touchdown. Point attempt by Barr. Good. And it's 20-10. 3 turnovers. Those deadly turnovers.
AT&T, the right choice. Steve Largent retired with 819 receptions, the NFL record. Which of the following receivers did not catch his 600th pass in 1989? Art Monk of the Redskins, Stanley Morgan of the Patriots, or James Lofton of the Bills? Which would you choose?
Please don't leave.
Final boarding call for flight 178.
Seattle just left. There's another flight at 4. 3 hours? Now what do I do? Gordon, I better call him. I'm going to do some revisions here. I've got a couple of hours. And if I could just hook up my computer to a phone line.
When you're on the road, nobody has more ways to help you than AT&T.
Time for one more call home.
AT&T, how can we help you?
Although he had over 10,000 yards receiving as a Patriot, Stanley Morgan did not catch 600 passes in New England. If you said Morgan, you made the right choice.
This is how the roomy new Cutlass Supreme SL looks after traveling 300 highway miles on just 10 gallons of gas. And this is how Honda Accord looks after the same challenge. Well, if it hadn't run out of gas 20 miles back, you'd see that it's smaller and it's blue. And next trip, Dad, it's yours. Who says you can't get great gas mileage in a roomy, comfortable car? Cutlass Supreme is one car that does it all and does it right.
This is the new generation of olds.
Here's the receiver, here's the defender, and watch what happens. He goes in motion. It's going to be an option cut. If he's playing inside, he's going to go to his outside. You see right here, he's inside. Now he's going to go outside. Humphrey throws it outside. Everson Walls jumps in front of it and comes up with a big interception.
Barr's kickoff will be taken by Brian Mitchell this time. He is hit down by Diassi.
There is a football hit. That is contact. That's tackle football.
Remember, next Sunday it begins at 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL Today. Then in regional coverage, many of you will see the defending world champion San Francisco 49ers take on Green Bay. Some of you will see Dallas and the New York Jets in an interconference matchup. New Orleans at Cincinnati. Redskins at Detroit. Atlanta at Pittsburgh. New quarterback Jeff Rutledge for the Redskins. Back to throw it. Screen pass to Viner. Viner by Collins. And Howard. Gain 7.
You know, it's interesting that Rutledge is in there. You wonder, remember on that last play, Humphreys was in on the interception. Humphreys was knocked down. He looked a little wobbly coming off, and I think that's why Rutledge is in here.
2nd and 3 and a flag. Viner again. That would be enough for a first down. Durison on a stop.
Of course, if there's anyone that knows this Giant defense, it has to be Jeff Rutledge. I think Stan Humphreys had a good day. You know, that one Viner dropped on him, I think took all the wind out of his sails, and that wasn't his fault. That last one was.
Illegal formation, offense.
Jeff Rutledge, when he was with the Giants, he spent all his time working against the Giant defense for the scout team.
Make it 2nd and 8. This was illegal formation against the Redskins. Make it 2nd and 8 at the 27. Humphreys still sitting on the sideline.
The way they put that jacket over him, I don't think he's going to come back.
I don't. Just under 4 minutes left. 20 to 10. 21 to 10. The Giants lead it. To Donnie Warren. Warren.
Now let's take a look at that shot again. Watch Gary Reasons. He's number 55, and he's the guy that hits Humphreys and takes him to the ground there.
Rutledge quickly. They got a first down. That's Viner. 21-10. Harry Williams and Dave Durison up to stop him. 2nd and 1 at the 46. Viner, first down, Redskins midfield. Durison on the stop again, a gain of 5.
The Redskins going, of course, here with no huddle because there's 3 minutes left. They have 2 of their timeouts left, but they need 2 scores.
Flag on the play. Pepper Johnson got to Rutledge, but a penalty marker on the play. A loss of 5.
Holding, number 79 offense, penalty decline, 2nd down.
You know, you can win a game a lot of ways, and I think a couple things that you don't always think about, but one has to be the running that O.J. Anderson did coming off the goal line. The other one has to be that punt of Sean Landetta, the coverage of Renee Thompson, and of course the pressure they're putting on Rutledge here now.
2nd down and 14. Pass deflected by Duerson, intended for Ricky Sanders.
I think everyone talks about Lawrence Taylor and how he's playing, and is he the same guy after 10 years and all that stuff. I think he probably is until the 4th quarter. This is when it's the toughest. You can still do it, but you can't do it for as long as you used to do it. You see the respect that the teams have, the number of blockers, that all remains the same, but the question is, where are you in the 4th quarter?
3rd and 15 at the 45. He puts Sanders in motion. Rutledge semi-rollout. Knocked away by Collins. Intended for Monk. That'll bring up a 4th down. With 2:38 left to play.
You know, in all the acquisitions in the offseason, maybe the best one was the Giants picking up Everson Walls. And I thought at the time, anytime you can get a corner like that, and this plan B thing, it's a pretty good pickup. But he has been invaluable to this defense, and of course he's had a couple interceptions today.
4th and 15. Incomplete. Almost picked off by Walls again.
You know, the guy just has a knack for being where the ball is and a knack for catching it. And now the Giants know they have won this game.
2.5 minutes left to play.
And you talk about a big one in a lead. When you beat your closest competitor in your division twice already, what a position that is. That's how linebackers celebrate, Pat. They just bump heads against each other.
Anderson surges for about 4 coming up tonight on CBS. For almost 2 years, Salman Rushdie has been in hiding from Muslims who have vowed to kill him. Tonight, Mike Wallace talks him out of hiding and on to 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, and then the CBS Sunday movie, The Secret Life of Archie's Wife. Timeout, Redskins. They have 1 left.
Yeah, we're talking about what this means to the Giants, but look at this. They have a 3-game lead over the Redskins, but because they beat them twice, that would even be more because the first one is head-to-head. So I think the Redskins from now on have to look. They're still a playoff team, and I think they have to start looking as a wild card and being the best of the wild card as the other guys can start celebrating.
Almost as important as that 7-0 record is the fact that they're 6-0, the Giants are, within the division.
I think the other thing is, out of the last 6 games, they would have beaten the Redskins every time, and they're their closest rival.
Anderson inside the 40, stopped by Eric Williams. A timeout call. Redskins, and that's all.
And that guy there earned his paycheck today because, again, it won't come out in the stat, but when they were pinned down there in the 1-yard line, and he had to bring that ball off that goal line, and he did it, he earned his paycheck.
23 carries, 80 yards for O.J.
But that's what the Giants have. I mean, they just don't have one guy that they rely on. They spread it out, and everyone comes through for them, and they're always going to have strong defense and always be in there. And they're off to their best start in the history of the franchise. I like O.J. Anderson, you know, kind of the guy that, you know, that would give it up. I remember training camp saying, are they going to cut this guy?
Yeah.
You know, does he have another year?
For the last 2 years, they've been saying that.
And I think having this guy here helps them, too. I mean, he gives them some speed and some life.
Anderson again. Down inside the 30 to about the 27. Todd Bowles. 12 yards for Anderson.
Wonder when Anderson's going to start looking at the sideline longingly and say, hey, that's enough. I've done mine. I've done the tough work. Let one of these other guys take the easy work.
2 minutes to go. The Giants 21, the Redskins 10.
You know, I love coming to the park with their major. Because there's nothing better than spending a little time with man's two best friends. His dog and his beer. Miller Lite, the less filling beer that really tastes great. What's this?
That's mine.
Yeah, doggy.
Miller Lite, where less filling really tastes great.
I didn't want to be the first, but when I heard how many other guys had already tried Rogaine, I did too. Now I have only one regret. I just wish I'd tried Rogaine sooner.
For more information about Rogaine with minoxidil, see your doctor or call this number. If you want to get the complete story about Rogaine with minoxidil, what it does and how it does it, see your doctor or call 1-800-556-4800.
Upjohn Information Center.
That's 1-800-556-4800.
Buying a new car is a big step. With many car makers, the minute you drive it out the door, you may feel like you're on your own. But at Oldsmobile, you're covered by the Oldsmobile Edge, the most comprehensive owner satisfaction program in the industry. Standard on every new Oldsmobile. We're with you every step of the way.
This is the new generation of old.
2 minutes remaining. The Redskins out of timeouts. The Giants leading 21-10. Pat Summerall with John Madden. The intensity level today has been as high as you'll see it, no matter what the situation.
It'd be nice if every game could be played like that, but when you have 16 games, a regular season, it's not going to happen. This was as close to intensity of a championship game as I've ever seen. I think as you look at the sideline, those faces are going to be as close to championship wins and losses as we've seen.
Bill Sims, 15 out of 24, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. And a reminder, when this is over, stick around for the postgame show, and we'll fill you in on what took place today in the NFL. Scores and highlights.
You know, the one that impressed me is O.J. Anderson has 94 yards against a tough Washington defense, and some of those things when they had to be won.
That's a highlight of today, and there were many. The coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS is Charles Milton III. This game produced by Bob Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman. The NFL Today produced by Eric Mann, directed by Duke Struck. The senior producer is David Winter, and the executive producer of the NFL on CBS is Ted Shaker.
Yeah, I look at Otis Anderson there, Pat, and he has that, I think he's growing hair. I think he's getting younger. His legs are getting younger. I think he's getting more hair, too.
He hopes.
I think that goes with winning. And you're undefeated, you have stuff like that happens to you.
Frustrating day for that man.
I mean, he does a heck of a job coaching. I mean, this Redskin team won't win the division, but they're going to be in the playoffs.
The Giants improved to 7-0.
The Giants improved to arguably the best team in the league.
Coming up next, the NFL Today postgame show. Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw will have all the scores and the highlights. Once again, the final score here at Giant Stadium was the Giants 21, the Redskins 10. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
After all these years, Watson, the trail is decidedly cold.
But Holmes, it's quite warm in here.
All these years.
Curiously cozy.
No, fiendishly clever. Observe, Watson. Warm house, many years. It must be...
Lennox.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
For home heating, for cooking, for hot water, use clean, natural gas. America's best energy value.
The Denorex side really feels like it's doing a lot more than the Head & Shoulders side. It feels real cool and tingly over here.
Both have a dandruff ingredient, but Denorex adds an extra anti-itch medicine you can feel working.
The tingle told me that Denorex was doing more for my hair.
It's back! The Domino's Pepperoni Pizza Feast is back! More pepperoni and extra cheese for only $7.99. And another one for just $4 more. But only for a limited time.
It's time for Domino's Pizza!
Call now.
Domino's Pizza.
There was magic in that ballpark. We both felt it. Dad handed me his Minolta Maxim 5009.
Clark digs in. Bulldog into his windup.
No snapshot camera is this special because Maxim has it all. Telephoto zoom for detail. Ultra-fast autofocus.
Lucky shot, rookie.
Even built-in flash.
Wow.
Experience the magic of Maxim. Only from the mind of Minolta.
Welcome back to our studios in New York, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw. Not a bad football game out at the Meadowlands. We'll talk more about that in a moment. A reminder for you, coming up next, except on the West Coast and Mountain Time Zone, stay tuned for the CBS News magazine 60 Minutes. For almost 2 years, Salman Rushdie has been in hiding from Muslims who have vowed to kill him. Tonight, Mike Wallace talks him out of hiding and on to 60 Minutes. And then it's Murder, She Wrote, followed by the CBS Sunday movie The Secret Life of Archie's Wife, starring Michael Tucker and Jill Eikenberry. And of course, next Sunday, we'll be back here again at 12:30 Eastern Time with another edition of the NFL Today. Many of you will see the San Francisco 49ers against the Green Bay Packers. Others will watch the Cowboys visit the New York Jets, plus a whole slate of regional action, including a late start down in Tampa, where the Bears visit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in an NFC Central Division matchup. But certainly a big story today is the New York Giants going to 7-0 with their 21-10 victory over the Washington Redskins. Standing by at the Meadowlands are Pat and John with one of the heroes of today's game. Pat and John, take it away.
It seems like every week you're one of the heroes. Congratulations again, O.J. Terrific day. I guess you're not hearing me.
You know, I think one of the biggest things, O.J., was when you guys were down there backed up on your goal line and you had to come out and you carried the ball 6 or 7 straight times. I think that was a big part of winning this game.
Well, what we needed was some momentum. We figured that Washington had momentum going and we needed something. We had just got an interception. So we just said we're just going to come out and do what we do best, which is hammer time and just run our basic plays.
Well, I'll tell you, you sure must feel good because you sure look like you're running as well as you ever have.
Well, I do. I tell you what, the young guys really give me inspiration. The offensive line are really blocking well for me, and we're just getting good play selection, and we're doing what we do best, which is basic plays and just let me pick my holes.
Well, I'll tell you, you've done a great job at it. You're undefeated. I know you want to go in there with your teammates.
I do.
Thanks a lot, and congratulations.
Bye-bye.
Now back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
John, thank you very much. Certainly Otis Anderson and company doing a whale of a job. The Giants go 7-0. We'll review the scores and bring you some highlights as well as the NFL Today continues in just a moment.
Whenever my brother Tom and his friends had to decide what game to watch on TV, it was a toss-up.
Heads or tails? Heads.
Then Tom got smart. Very smart! He got this Magnavox TV with a built-in smart window, so Killer could watch football on the main screen.
Yeah, without getting mad when Stork and I check out basketball on the smart window.
You might say Magnavox saved your friendship, Tom.
You could actually say it saved my life.
Magnavox. Smart choice. Very smart.
This is how the roomy new Cutlass Supreme SL looks after traveling 300 highway miles on just 10 gallons of gas. And this is how Honda Accord looks after the same challenge. Well, if it hadn't run out of gas 20 miles back, you'd see that it's smaller and it's blue. And next trip, Dad, it's yours. Who says you can't get great gas mileage in a roomy, comfortable car? Cutlass Supreme is one car that does it all and does it right.
This is the new generation of olds.
Welcome back. As promised, here come scores and highlights for you, beginning with the game at Texas Stadium this afternoon, where the Philadelphia Eagles edged the Cowboys by a score of 21-20. It was a 14-13 Philadelphia lead. Watch Isaac Holt come on and block Jeff Beagle's punt, and that put the Cowboys in great position down low. Emmitt Smith got the call at the 3-yard line.
Out of Florida, Emmitt Smith was an I-back. That's where he does his damage. Johnson recognizes that, puts him in the eye at the goal line, over the left guard and tackle, touchdown.
20-14 lead for Dallas, but here comes Randall Cunningham under a minute.
Well, we said this was the sack bowl, but Cunningham, with plenty of time to throw, lays this ball up, and Calvin Williams outleaps Robert Williams. Touchdown, Eagles win it. Big game, may have saved Buddy's job.
And did Buddy Ryan shake hands with Jimmy Johnson after the game? No, he did not. The Eagles go to 3-4. Minnesota played Green Bay in Milwaukee, and it was the Packers handing the Vikings their 5th straight loss. The final score was 24-10. Rich Gannon with one of 6 Viking turnovers on this pass. Big Sean Patterson, number 96, picks it off and returns 9 yards for the touchdown. His first NFL interception, his first touchdown, and Jerry Burns and company having problems. The Packers go to 3-4. The Vikings lose another one, 24-10. At the Superdome in New Orleans, the Saints fall to the Detroit Lions by a score of 27-10. The Saints committing a team record 8 turnovers today, and all of Detroit's points came off of turnovers. The Lions win at 27-10. At Indianapolis, Miami did a number on Indianapolis quarterbacks. Trudeau, Jeff George, all suffering injuries. Joe Ferguson ineffective in relief. The Dolphins win it by a score of 27-7. Buffalo at New England. Thurman Thomas came into this game with a bruised right knee. He carried 22 times, 136 yards and a touchdown as the Bills beat the Patriots 27-10. And the Jets and Houston playing at the Astrodome. A couple of high-powered offenses coming in. The Jets prevail by a score of 17-12. The heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Holyfield, looking on, and look at Warren Moon trying to throw out of his end zone.
Hey, you know, the hardest place in the world for a quarterback, Greg, to throw out of is his own end zone. You stand back there, you get a little happy feet, you don't quite trust your offensive line. The fumble, the recovery, that sets up the Jets' victory.
Warren Moon threw for 332 yards, but just for 1 touchdown. The Jets sacked him 5 times today. We'll take a timeout and have more for you in just a moment.
Please don't leave. Final boarding call for flight 178. Seattle just left. There's another flight at 4. 3 hours? Now what do I do? Gordon, I better call him. I'm going to do some revisions here. I've got a couple of hours. And if I could just hook up my computer to a phone line.
When you're on the road, nobody has more ways to help you than AT&T.
Time for one more call home.
AT&T, how can we help you?
Most of my friends don't know what they're going to do after graduation, but I've already locked in guaranteed skill training in the Army. Qualify now and you can reserve even the Army's most sought-after technical training, up to 12 months in advance, through the Army's delayed entry program. Sure, being a soldier won't be easy, but then nothing worth having ever is.
Welcome back, everyone. What a game being played out at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. With 1:10 to play, the Cleveland Browns have just scored. Mike Pagel, on in relief of Bernie Kosar, has thrown 4 yards to Ozzie Newsome, and that is a 17-17 tie with 70 seconds to play at Candlestick Park. Meanwhile, at Phoenix, the Bears once had a 28-point lead. It's now a 10-point lead as time winds down at Sun Devil Stadium in Arizona. Big crowd on hand to watch the Bears visit the Cardinals, and Jim Harbaugh steps back 67 yards to Ron Morris.
Something we're seeing a lot of by young quarterbacks this year, Greg, is play-action passing. Harbaugh coming off his biggest game against the Rams, having another big day again today against the Cardinals.
So is Neil Anderson with a couple of touchdown runs, this one from 2 yards out. There are 3 minutes to play in this game at Phoenix, and the Bears look like they're en route to victory. They lead it by a score of 31-21. And out at San Diego, it is now a final score. The San Diego Chargers have beaten the Tampa Bay Bucks by a score of 41-10. Little thoughts on what's happening in postseason. Let's take you back to the Meadowlands. Once again, Pat Summerall and John Madden.
All right, Greg, the Giants beat the Redskins for the second time this year, 21-10 this time it was. It looks like, certainly based on the way things stand right now, that San Francisco, the Bears, and the Giants would be the class of the NFC. In your opinion, once you get past those three, who look like the most legitimate playoff teams?
Well, you know, I think you have to look at those three as the best teams in the NFC. I mean, these are the teams that are going to be there. The Giants, the Bears, the 49ers. You can argue who's best. I mean, the 49ers, I think, until someone beats them, are still the best team. The Giants, I think, are probably the next best team. But then you say you have to remember that the playoff situation, that three teams are going to be in. In other words, you're going to have your three division winners in each conference. Then you're going to have teams with the three next best records being in there. And if we looked at it today, that's how it would look. So Washington loses today, in essence, and they're really behind the Giants, but they're first-place wild-card team.
Well, it looks like if you had two echelons, you'd have those three division winners we talked about, certainly in the playoffs. Then you would have a team like Washington that looks probably like the best of the rest.
Yeah, and then I don't know where you would put the Bears if they're in that front group or if they're in that middle group.
All right, let's go back now to Greg Gumbel.
Pat and John, thank you very much. I want to remind you, next Saturday, start your weekend sports viewing with college football today. Andrea Joyce and Mike Francesa set the stage at 2 Eastern time, and then the top-ranked Virginia Cavaliers host Georgia Tech. Then on Sunday, join us for Week 9 on the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern time. Many of you will see the 49ers and the Packers. Others will see the Cowboys meeting the New York Jets in the Meadowlands, and a full slate of regional coverage. And in our late start, some of you will see the Bears and the Bucks. Once again, 60 Minutes is next, except on the West Coast and Mountain Time Zone. For Terry Bradshaw and for all of us here at CBS Sports, I'm Greg Gumbel in New York. Have yourselves a good evening, everyone.